Welcome everybody, we've got a fun one for you today. Today we are going to be talking about the best Nintendo Switch games that you can get somebody for yourself or someone else as a present for Christmas. We're going to go over what I think are really where you should be looking if you're not quite sure. Or if you get a bit of money for your Christmas and you want to treat yourself, this is what you've got. So without further ado, let's roll that intro and move on. Okay, so the first game shouldn't be a mystery to anyone, Breath of the Wild. If you've not played it, it is an immense game. I don't really know what there is more to say about it than what everyone else will already say. It's a great time to play it. It's such a good game. You complete it really quickly if you want to. You can take 100 plus hours to do it. If someone's not got it at this point, it's still quite expensive, but it is definitely worth the money if that's what you're after. Just check out any review of it. It is a brilliant game. The DLC for it as well will extend it even further. And now's a good time to play it if you've not already, because next year the sequel's coming out, and there's also Age of Calamity, which is a prequel to this game. So, all good, and it's best to know what's going on. The next game we're going to talk about is Super Mario Odyssey. It's the latest 3D Mario game, and it is everything you want from a Mario game. It's two-player. Two-player is not quite as good as you'd expect. One controls the hat, one controls Mario. It works pretty nicely. You can't really fault it. But it's not quite what you would really imagine when it's two-player. You're not going to be running around like Luigi or anything, but definitely worth a go. Anyone who likes Mario, particularly the 3D Mario, you can't go wrong. The next one on our list, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Brilliant, brilliant game. Tons of fun. Excellent if you're buying it for kids or someone. There is tons of multiplayer fun to have. If you play it on your own, it's just as fun. Works just as well online. Perfect game. It'll keep you going for hours and hours. There's the battle mode, the race mode. Really fun. Definitely worth a buy. If you've not heard about Animal Crossing's New Horizons, where have you been all year? This, at the start of the year, March, April time, took the world by storm. It's easy to 300 hours of entertainment with many, many more. It depends on what you like. It's basically a life simulator. You have your own little desert island. You recruit different animals to come and stay. You can change everything about it. It is a brilliantly fun game. So much to do, so much to enjoy. Highly recommend for anyone of all ages. Can't go. Next up, we've got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is getting a bit more popularity at the moment. They've announced Sephiroth as the next DLC character. There is a lot more DLC characters. This is great for anyone who enjoys fighting games. Even if you're not a massive fan of fighting games, it's still a really fun game to play. There's hundreds of hours of entertainment on it. I cannot recommend this one enough. It is definitely worth a go. And if you've always wanted to get into fighting games but never quite been sure where to start, this is the perfect point to jump in. It's easy to pick up, it's hard to master. The online aspects are a challenge, the signal drops out quite a bit. But if you persevere with it, you got there in the end, you will have no end of fun with it. Definitely good. Still being updated, which makes it even better. So really, that's a really high recommendation. Next up, probably one of my favourite games I've played this year. It came out last November. Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield with the expansion pass. It's a little bit more pricey getting the expansion pass, but then again you're getting the DLC. It's hands down the best Pokemon game you can play. I've played and completed every single generation, and this is the pinnacle. It's very controversial. Some people like it, some people hate it. The DLCs for me are brilliant. Playing through them all together, integrated into the game at the same time, will be brilliant. I am going to be starting a new playthrough of Pokemon Shield, doing an electric Monotite run, and I've already completed this game about 6, maybe 7 times, and I keep coming back to it. I cannot recommend this enough. If you don't want to spend that whole price point, you can buy just a game on its own, download the DLC later. You don't have to. It saves a bit of money, but definitely, if you're going to go for it, this is one of the top ones I would recommend for yourself or anyone you'd be looking to get a present for. Next up, Luigi's Mansion 3. Really good game. Personally, I prefer Mario Odyssey. This is quite different in how it is. It's you go around into a large hotel. You're sucking up the ghost. You've got the help of Luigi. You can play it as a multiplayer, so it's good for kids. But ideally, this isn't something you're going to want to buy two kids to share because the multiplayer is not an equal distribution. You're not it's not like playing Mario Brothers Deluxe where you got a character each. It's definitely Luigi focused, but hands down a really good game. Definitely worth the money. Next up, Paper Mario: The Origami King. This is a Mario game, but it's an RPG. It adds another element to the Mario franchise. It's really good. It's definitely worth playing. The battle mechanics are a bit of a challenge. It's less of attacking. It's a bit of more puzzly. It's really fun. Definitely worth a go for anyone who's interested in that. A lot of fun to be had from this one. Would highly recommend. Next up, Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is a very fun game. Turn-based strategy, RPG. So much replayability in it. Really fun. I believe there's DLC for it as well. I've not actually tried that yet, but I think it adds another house to it and some more characters. There's so much interest between the battle mechanics, the almost simulation mechanics of it. It is a really fun game. Definitely worth playing, and I would highly recommend this as a present to anyone. Next up is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. 3 games for the price tag of 1. These are all older games that have been re-released on Nintendo Switch. You've got Super Mario 64, the Nintendo 64 classic, Super Mario Sunshine, an often forgotten about and not spoken about enough GameCube classic, and Super Mario Galaxy, arguably one of the best Mario games ever to be made from the Wii. All remastered, all play beautifully. This is a really good Mario game, particularly for a present for someone you're effectively giving them 3 games. What I would say is, if you're interested in picking this up, get it sooner rather than later. I believe they're only making it until March next year because it's a celebration of the 35 years of Mario. So pick it up while you can. Next up is a little cheaper, bit of a cheaper game, Minecraft. It works really well on a Nintendo Switch. Personally, I love it. It's been around for years. I think you can play it on literally anything at this point. I can't say enough good things about it. It's fun. There's so many very different options. The creative mode, the survival mode. There's so much you can do. With all the updates, it's changed a lot. It's definitely worth picking up. Particularly if you just want something a bit cheaper and you're not quite sure what to go for. You can't go wrong with Minecraft if they've not got it already. Everyone is going to love it. Next up is Minecraft Dungeons. This is a reminiscent of an old school top-down RPG. It's surprisingly actually really fun. It's in the Minecraft world. Very similar to Diablo 3, but much more kid-friendly. It gets a little bit repetitive as it goes on, but for the price, you really can't complain. It is a very good game. Very fun indeed. I've not actually managed to get the online working. I don't know if I'm doing it right or not, but to be honest, I enjoy playing through it on my own. It works really well, and being a cheaper game, you really can't complain. This comes in, once again, highly recommended. Next up, Stardew Valley. Brilliant game, a little bit older at this point. If you download it, obviously it's a lot cheaper to download digitally, but I do believe you can actually now get a physical copy as well of it. So if you want to send someone wrapped, it's a bit more expensive physical copy. You always get that though. Brilliant farming simulator, but you can fish in it, farm in it, there's dungeons to explore. This will while away hours of your time. So entertaining, so fun, definitely worth recommending to anyone. Particularly if you used to like old school Harvest Moon before it got changed. Now it's effectively a Story of Seasons, but this is a brilliant, brilliant game. Definitely worth picking it up. Next to recommending 51 worldwide games. You're probably going to see this pushed quite hard at the moment for Christmas. I can wholeheartedly agree. Brilliant game. There is so much fun to be had. I've played so much on my own, so much with my fiance. It just works so fun. I believe you can, if you've got two people with Switches in your house, download a second copy to play only using the one card off the eShop, which makes it brilliant. It's such a good fun game that you can play on your own or with other people. So many options, doing guaranteed to be a few games in there that everyone has fun playing. It's not necessarily got the same longevity. You're not going to be sitting on this for 5, 6 hours, but easy 20 minutes, hour, brilliant thing to do, particularly when you've got people around. You cannot complain about it. Next up is Hollow Knight. If you have not played this game, you've got to get it. It's dark, it's sad, but it's brilliant at the same time. It's never has such an entertaining world been presented in so few words, is the only way to really describe it. It's hard, but it's all about skill and practice. This isn't something you want to get a younger kid. I know it's PGI rated for 7 plus. Realistically, you're going to be wanting 14, 15 plus for something on like this. It's frustrating, it's challenging, but it is so rewarding when you get good at it. And with the follow-up Silk Song on the horizon, not officially released date yet, but I'm getting the feeling it's probably going to be sooner rather than later, seeing how it goes. Pick up the original now. Such a good game. I've streamed some of this on Twitch, and I'll probably be doing some more again with it. I cannot recommend this enough. Once again, you can get a physical copy, a bit more expensive if you want someone to unwrap, but it's much cheaper to download it. With all these games, they're always going to be cheaper to download, but I personally like having a physical copy for my collection, because I'm just old school. Next up is a slightly older game, as some of these are, Octopath Traveler. I have not given this the amount of time it deserves. All I can say is it is an absolutely brilliant old school RPG style game made by Square Enix that makes a Final Fantasy and the like, and it does take me back to the old Final Fantasy days growing up on it. It is absolutely delightful to play. I would highly recommend everyone gives this a go. It's such good fun. It's holding its price still pretty well, but if you aren't looking for something brand new, all of these games you can pick up pre-owned for very reasonable prices. It's the problem with Nintendo Switch games is they do hold their prices very well. But there's 8 different characters you can pick from to start the game with. Play it however you want. It is such fun. I recommend everyone gives it a go. I have started a walkthrough on my channel. I need to get back to that. But yeah, cannot say enough good stuff about this game. Right, this game has been around on pretty much every console going. This is Dragon Quest XI, Echoes in an Elusive Age Definitive Edition S. It's a long title, but it's quite frankly a brilliant Dragon Quest game. So much fun, so much time can be sunk into this game. Definitely worth playing. It's hold up. It's probably the best Dragon Quest game I've ever played. It beats 7 or 8 Journey of the Cursed King, which up until that point was probably my favourite. This is such a good game. It's so fun. Definitely worth playing. You can play this for hours and hours on end, or you can just nip in for 20 minutes, half hour here and there. Old school grinding works. You don't have to grind. You can really play as however you want. If you like a challenge, you can put rules inside of it to make it harder for yourself. There's 2 different games in effect. There's the new 3D game. There's an old retro 2D style, which is actually a slightly different story. It's effectively the same game, but slightly different things happen now it works. Such a good game. Definitely recommend getting this. What we've got to move on to now is I've got 5 games to avoid, and not necessarily bad games, but we'll go through them and I'll explain. First up, Tetris 99. This is inherently quite a fun game. It's a very different interpretation of Tetris. Brilliant. And you do get a 12-month Nintendo subscription with this, so it could be worth it. But at the end of the day, it's a free-to-download game. You don't need to pay for this. You get a box for it, which is nice if you want it on the storage. You get the 12-month subscription, which is also really good. But at the end of the day, if you're buying this as a present for someone, or you're getting it for yourself, and you've already got Nintendo Switch Online, don't pay this much for a game you don't have to pay anything for. It is just not worth it. Next up is Fortnite. You can buy this. There's tons of. I think there's one with a Joker pack coming up recently. Once again, it's a similar price to what you'd be paying for Tetris 99, and it's the exact same reason. It's a brilliant game. It's really fun to play, but it's also free. You don't need to be paying for this game. You can play it completely free. You don't need anything for it. Don't get sucked into spending that much money on cosmetic items. The game will already try and rinse you for as many cosmetic items you pay for as possible when you download it. Download it for free. Don't worry about a case. Just play it for free. Definitely worth playing. Definitely not worth the money. Next up, Monopoly for Switch. Now, this isn't inherently a bad game. It's not quite as fun as playing actual Monopoly. But there's one very good reason you don't want to buy this, and it's this right here. For near enough the same amount of money you can get it, maybe a bit more, a tiny bit more, you'll get free games, including Monopoly. Trivial Pursuit is really fun if you're playing with multiple people. Monopoly works pretty well, and you get Risk as well, which is effectively a free bonus at this point. Hands out, if you want to play Monopoly, buy it as the Hasbro Game Night set. It is much more value for money. Don't get just Monopoly, you will be The penultimate one, whcih. This is not worth the money. This is just a tech demo of it. Should have come free with the console. There's some fairly fun games in there. There's some very dull and weird games in there. At the end of the day, you are paying far too much money for something that looks good, does not play well. Don't waste your money on it. No one will enjoy it if you get it for a gift. Save your money, put it on one of the other games. Just don't bother. And finally, this one genuinely pains me to put it on an avoid list. The Outer Worlds for Nintendo Switch. There is two reasons I've put this down as to avoid. One, you can buy it on any other console for significantly less money, normally half price of what you'll pay on Switch, if not less. And two, the graphic downgrade for the Switch makes it near enough unplayable. I've completed this game. I love this game on Switch. I never got around to buying it on PlayStation 4. I saw it coming out on Switch. I got it, and it is just not worth spending the money on it. If you could find it for a tenner, then that's fine. That'd be brilliant. I can't quibble with that. But it is not worth the money you are paying when you can get it so much better. The game deserves more than what you get on the Switch. Don't buy it. Right, and there we have it. They are my top games to buy for this Christmas season, with a few to avoid. Obviously, there are so many more Switch games out there. If you like this and you're interested, like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, let me know you want more, and I'll bring you the next load of options you can get for presents for yourself, for other people. That's everything. Enjoy, and I'll see you.